update, July 2013. We are short one team member we used to have that helped us out with this, so a couple bumps in the road, but we're ready to go. We've got Ricardo, Mello here. My name's Greg McCarvel, and we're going to go through an update. We've got an agenda here. We've launched Wakanda 5 recently. I think everyone's aware of that. These are the items that we'll cover in this particular update. Redesign the website, complete overhaul. I think most people have probably seen that. I'll talk about that for a little bit. We've introduced new support plans. We've also revised our licensing plans. I'm going to cover that topic. And I'm going to talk about JS Everywhere 2013. Ricardo's going to take the bulk of this update. He's going to talk about Wakanda 5 and what was delivered. He's going to do that briefly and focus more on what's happening with Wakanda 6. Progress there and some new features. He's going to cover specifically the package system, one-click themes, creation of themes with one click, creation of widgets with one click, and he's going to go through some basic widget API information. So with no further ado, one thing I would say is Ricardo is a brave man, so I've got a disclaimer here. All the demos he does today will be done with a very recent build. So there may be hiccups. It's a development branch. But in order to show you the latest and greatest, this is what he needs to do that. So let me go through my topics first. First off, I wanted to say congratulations to the marketing department. We've got a great new website, a very professional look, clear message. We've rebranded with new logos, and we're updating this site regularly. We're really pushing to make this a living site that changes and is updated constantly. And I know they put a ton of work into it, so I just wanted to say congratulations. And of course, if there's suggestions as far as we've had a few changes that we've made as far as making the site more clear, more understandable, by all means, send us your suggestions. We want to make this website as accessible as possible. Because the other thing, as a developer, you want your clients to be able to get information on Wakanda as well when you're presenting it as part of your professional solutions. So we've also launched brand new support plans. And these we're responding to demand from the community. People wanted private and very responsive support. So we've basically put together two different types of support, development support and deployment support. They're all on our website. Feel free to read about them. We're definitely fully committed to making this a top-tier, top-quality service. This is not we're going to continue on with the forum and community support, but we want this to be very much a Cadillac service that you can count on for your mission-critical business. These breakdowns are on the website. If you have any questions, feel free to email me directly, greg.mccarvel@4d.com. So there's been a lot of discussion about our recent licensing revamp, and I think it's important to discuss the goals we had with this retooling. One of the things we really wanted to do was we wanted to lower the barrier to entry for a developer. We wanted the cost to go down to develop a commercial application. Another really important thing, and thing that we had clients of ours express concern over, was we wanted to create a business model that was a sustainable business, something that we could count on for the long term, something that we could continue to improve the product and never stop innovating. So this was another core tenet to our discussion of what we were going to do with licensing. We wanted to stay open source and free, and that has not changed. There's a free option. You can deploy unlimited with your open source projects. There's no change to that. Considerations that I think need to be taken into account. In our previous plan, the Warrior plan, it was $420 per year, $35 a month. The current plan, we broke out the development portion and the deployment portion. So the development portion is $129 per year. This is in US dollars. And check the store for European pricing, etc. But the deployment subscription is $259 per year, so the total is $388 per year. So as a total package, we've actually lowered the cost. Now the real interesting part is that initial stage where you're ramping up and getting development done, you can do for a fraction of the cost now, because say for instance you had a team of 10. In the old plan, that would have been $4,200 for the year, now $1,290, because we're able to break out the development from the deployment. We've made it publicly known that we are working on a cloud offering. I can't give you any specifics on that, but what I can say is that when the cloud rolls around, it will also cover additional scenarios, meet certain people's needs perfectly, and I'm pretty excited about that. We're also working with OEM developers on a case-by-case basis. So if you have an application that you're thinking for very wide distribution where you would need many, many cases or many, many installations of Wakanda Server, by all means, I encourage you to get a hold of me. We'd love to talk to you about partnering on that type of arrangement. And just to reassure everyone, we've 100% listened to your feedback. We're discussing it, and I think, generally speaking, the feedback has been quite good. And there's a few edge cases where people have given us concern, and we're considering those, and definitely we want to be responsive. And I think that we've been very open to discuss this, and that's our attitude going forward as well. So JS Everywhere 2013, Lyle Troxel is heading this up. There's an event in San Francisco. I wasn't able to find out if there's anything planned for Europe, but the place to go to get information on this is jseverywhere.org. It's an event that's going to be focused on JavaScript. There will be some Wakanda sessions, but primarily you'd be interested in this if you're interested in JavaScript as a language and how it fits into the industry as a whole. For specific Wakanda training, we do have training events coming up, so keep those in mind as well. So with no further ado, I'm going to introduce Ricardo Mello, a Renaissance man, and also our product director. So Ricardo, welcome.
Thank you, Greg.
Now you can let me know. Sorry, you can let me know when you want me to share your screen or how you want to work it.
Okay. Well, why don't you go straight and share the screen?
Okay. So you should get a pop-up.
I do show my screen. Okay.
There we go. You're looking good. Go ahead.
Is it? Can you guys can see my whole screen?
Yes.
All right. So let me just position my things here. I want to briefly. I have a little a nice image here that I want to talk a little bit before. So I have a lot of ground to cover. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to cover everything. If not, I'll make some videos explaining in more details some other things. I want to let me enforce what Greg already said. I have the development version of the day, so bear with me if something not so stable is still on the pipelines. We're still refining. This should be ready in 15 days or so. So we're working very hard right now to make everything available for October, so we can make a big splash in terms of our products. So let me start with what we are calling WD2, which is the Wakanda Dynamic Delivery, which is very important for us right now. It is what it's going to substitute the way and change the way we deliver our application. As we largely discussed in the forum, and our clients, they are pointing us in the direction that the solution that we had before with the WAF optimizer, so it was not ready to products that wants to be faster, be more mobile, and more collaborative. So we tackled that case, and as you know, this image here at the beginning, it shows the old logo. And we have a very fixed and heavy and raw way of delivering packages or delivering our libraries. So we pretty much packed everything together, all the widgets, everything that we have, all the themes, and we delivered to the client, which made our pages not that flexible. And also for a client, if he wants to add something to our product, he needs to update many files, and he needs to go in that direction, which we want to change. So right now, what we have built is a package system with dynamic delivery. Some people may wonder why the name dynamic delivery, or why you guys not using someone else's already standard way of doing, and we evaluate pretty much everything, and we decide to go for the fastest one, for the most reliable, because what people sometimes they don't understand is our company. It's quite unique in the sense that we build our own server. That's very key to understand why we are choosing and why we can do dynamic delivery and why we can package everything in a different way. Because we own the server, so the whole server, it's us to decide. And we start digging in. We discovered that our server had many capabilities that we were not taking advantage of it. So when we decided to take advantage of it. And you guys are going to see that we are right now 4 or 5 times faster than what we were before, and we can scale and grow without a fear, and add as many widgets, as many themes as we want. That our core, the delivery of our libraries will be light, smart, fast, and very collaborative. So also today I want to talk a little bit about the widgets. Widgets is a very hot issue. We are putting a lot of effort on our new architecture. The first thing was basically make it possible to people to create widgets in a very easy way, and give us and after that for people to feel that we now have an architecture that can provide a nice way for them to build, create, and share widgets. And themes, they are the same thing. So I'm going to start. I'm going to close this window here. I have a studio here already running. It's Wakanda 5. Well, actually, it's the version of the day, so it's almost Wakanda 6 already. So when I have, on my left side, you guys are going to see that I have a project called Wakanda 5. In fact, it's just I'm going to open, so we're going to see it. I'm going to close this one that's open. I'm going to show to you. So basically, it's a page. Don't worry too much about the style or anything. I didn't prepare nothing fancy or beautiful. I just want to be practical and go direct to the point. So I have a page which has 3 web components, and if I run this page, as you were going to see, it gives me a standard Wakanda page. What I'm going to do interesting here, I'm going to call for the, let me adjust the page. I'm going to call here for developer best friend. And you're going to see that in the network, if I call the page, okay, I'm going to go through very basically for you guys. That's what you have right now in Wakanda. So basically, we have our WAF optimize, right, which is our way of delivering right now, that will call the server and will pass a big chain of files that needs to be put together. So I have a call for the CSS, and I have a call for the JS, the JavaScript. And if you go down, you're going to see that I have more of WAF-optimized calls. I have a call for each web component in my page, right? So all that happened in your project since Wakanda, since the first Wakanda. I want you to notice something else as well. And actually, I'm going to just make I think I have something here, maybe, yeah. I'm going to bring something just for us to keep some notes. And Wakanda 5, if I go the size that is sent, I have here my size between 63, let's say 63, no, sorry, 17. Give me a second. Wait, 93 kilobytes. I'm going to put here. Sorry for the, I was just looking at the numbers. I basically 93 kilobytes that will be translated into 751 kilobytes, which takes about 63 milliseconds. Okay. For the JS, I have basically 776. That when it comes to my machine, it needs to be unzipped and all processed by my machine, which becomes 2.8 megabytes, which I'm going to be, let's say, equal 2.8 multiply about that. And the time is 179, and I make some calls to the WAF optimizer after. I'm going to do 2 calls for each web component I have in my page. If I have 10 web components, there are going to be 20 calls. Now I have 3, just 3. I make 6 calls to the server. So that's my basic view of what's going on Wakanda right now. As you can see, the problem of this structure is if tomorrow I have 20 widgets more, I'm going to just grow those numbers. If I have 10 themes that I really like it, and the way that we package right now, we package everything together. So the option for some of you that I know that there are a lot of developers that are extremely experienced, they go into our code and sometimes they delete or they customize their own way our WAF. So what we are trying to do is to make sure that you don't need to do that anymore, and it's going to be way faster. So what I'm going to show you guys now is the new version. So I have here, I'm going to close the Wakanda 5. I'm going to go to Wakanda 6. And you guys are going to see that the page is basically the same. Okay. Oh, sorry, not really, because I have something. Okay. Page will be basically the same. I'm save. Okay, I'm going to execute and put the 2 pages together. Let me just show to you guys what is going to be. Oh, actually, sorry. What I want to do is not that. I'm going to actually close the page, and I'm going to open a new. It's going to be easy to understand. Yeah. So I'm going to compare both. I'm going to have both together. Okay.
Hey, Ricardo, I'm going to jump in for 1 second here. I had one person request if you could speak a little more loudly.
Okay.
Thanks.
I'll try. So then we have on my left, I still have the way that we were charging before. On my right, the new way. I'm going to call the best friend for the developer, and there we go, network. We're going to charge, and you're going to see that it's a little different. So I charge the same page, exactly the same page. I have the same, if I go to the left, pretty much the same call to loader.js, which is our main guy that controls everything. But instead of doing the WAF optimize, I do this call here, which is our new build. Okay. As you can see, I brought everything in 37 milliseconds. That's JavaScript. So I'm going to bring our panel just to us to compare. So I think it's pretty interesting. Where's my panel? Wait a second there. Okay, so on the new Wakanda 6, this is my JS. My JavaScript comes 293. That will be translated into just 942, which took 31 milliseconds. My CSS, which is right here, is just 22 kilobytes. That became, after unzip and everything, where am I? Flat. Became 143. And in terms of time, it's just 12 milliseconds. So the same page, you guys are seeing. It's a totally different game. We're very excited about this because this will change completely our mobile experience. This will change completely the way that we deliver pages. It's much faster. Of course, that if your page grows to a point that it has a lot of components, then your charge here, the size that you have to deliver, will be bigger. That's normal. But my page that arrived here is just what I need. I just have for this page the grid, the button that I use here, my login, my progress bar. I have just those files, and that's quite a remarkable change in the product. Also here, I forgot to notice there is no call for the web components. As you can see under here, there's no extra call. I don't call again my page. I bring everything just once. And of course, we left the option because we know that the web components, they have an option that you can load later, and that is still there. Then we make the call just for that package, and that's it. Okay. So we're very, very excited about this new functionality. This is the performance and the fitness of the new Wakanda 6. But what this underline is, right now, we will be able, with Wakanda 6, to create any theme, any widgets that we want, and that will not grow or slower your package and your application delivery. So we're pretty excited about that. So I don't know if they have any questions, Greg, at my end. That's basically for the package system.
Yep. So
many times. But
yeah, I have one question came up. Are you? I guess we'll probably be covering the roadmap a little bit and sort of what's on the horizon later on. So you can either take questions now, or do you want to continue through your prepared information?
Well, we can try to do a widget or a theme right now and
Sure.
see how we vision.
Okay,
and,
so I'm compiling questions and we'll tackle them at the end.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. Let me just organize now my machine here. I want to close this because I don't need to do this anymore. So I'm going to actually close those two projects that I have open here. As I mentioned, I have a very unstable environment right now. Let's hope that everything's going to go the way I plan. So let me see one thing here. I have a thing here. Okay. If I drag a button, good. All right. Do I have everything else? Okay. I can just show a little test with that. Okay. As you guys see it in the Wakanda 5, we are doing incremental change to the way that we treat CSS and the whole style of our product. The first step for us to, and the first step to not compromise a lot of projects, was to bring all the CSS to one file. So in Wakanda 5, we delivered something that you can choose a theme, and you can create another team or different teams. It's not automated yet, but you can manually. But the important thing was to bring to one file. So we centralize the creation of CSS. For Wakanda 6, we are working a little bit more towards what we said, one-click creation. That consists in the design. In the same way, you're going to have on the right side here a panel which will show your theme that is currently being used. And we're going to have some custom themes, default themes, and all that. If I click on all, I have actually I have some already custom here that I did before. But anyway, so I have the default lilac, metal, light, and soft gray that you guys are all very aware of it. That's great. I'm going to change now my theme. I just do that. I save my page. Let me just verify one thing. Okay, just want to verify one thing. Sorry. Okay, perfect. I'll just verify if this solution that I have open, this project that I have open right now is using the package system, because otherwise I'm not going to be able to attach themes and widgets. So anyways, going back. So I have right now a very easy way to change the looks of my page, right? So that capability you guys already saw it. What we want to bring more, even further, is the fact that it would be nice if I just would click, for example, in the soft gray, okay, and I duplicate, which is this button right here. And I click and duplicate, and I'm going to give a name. I'm going to call blue, a name. Okay. And now, pay attention. I have just created dynamically my theme blue on the right side. Of course, it is exactly the same as my soft gray. Okay, I'm going to choose actually blue. I'm going to save. I'm going to run. I'm actually using the theme called blue. I'm going to run. It didn't really work. It should. Let me try just again. I may need to refresh. Okay, my server is up. I'm going to just check if my package and everything is right, because as I didn't show you guys, that's interesting. I have the index package.json here. So I'm going to give you guys a look of the package. The package is basically like that. Okay? I'm using my desktop core. I'm using my theme blue that I just created. I'm using data grid, the index, application.css. Everything that I have in my page is there. Well, I'm going to close it. I need to save this guy. And I'm using my blue. Okay, it's perfect. So I'm going to try to run again. It doesn't work. That's too bad, because it was working not long ago. I'm going to try to default, save it, run it. Oh no, now I have another problem. Sorry for that. Okay. Yeah, something is not good with my page. I am sorry to show that. I'm going to try to do on my old project, because it may work a little better. Let me go to my old project, and that probably will be the trick. Right now, as I mentioned, is a little stable. Let's go for this one, which is even better because I have even more elements. Design. I'm going to go custom. I'm going to choose no, I want my blue. Okay, we did my blue here. I save, and now I run. Installing the server. All right, there we go. I don't know what's wrong with my other project. I probably messed too much around. So let's go back. Let's rewind. All right. So I want to change to lilac. I save. I change my. Oh, I have problems of running problems here. But anyways, you guys have an idea of how that is supposed to work. Basically, you save your theme here, you duplicate, then your theme is available for you to use. And then on the right panel, as you're going to see, the theme, it's going to be here in the folder. My blue theme that I just created is right here. So I can go to my blue theme, and change the CSS, for example. I can go and make it a little less blue or another color. I don't even know what's going to happen. When I return to my Wakanda 6, to my page, it's going to say that something changed. I'm going to say yes. And actually, the color completely changed. Wait a second, did I save my? I didn't save. I am getting messy here. Wait a second. I'm going to put my blue again. Oh, yeah, the color changed, but I didn't save. That's why. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to save as a blue. I'm sure that this page now has my theme blue. Now I go to blue CSS. I open and I change the color. I'm going to do a different color for this theme. I save. And when I come back to the studio, it says that something changed my page. I say yes. And now it's completely changed. So I can customize my colors just going back and forth, okay, through my themes. Now my blue theme became red. And if I go to the design, it's red. It's clearly red. I'm going to turn back to blue. I'll go back here. 127, that probably. Do the trick. 100. 207. That probably do the trick. I go back to my page. Yes. My theme is blue again. So that's how easy we think that will be to create and to develop themes in the studio. So basically, you can duplicate a theme. You go to the theme that you want to duplicate. Now, for example, I want to duplicate my blue theme. I did blue, and I want to do something else. So I want to change the shape. I just duplicate. When I duplicate, the theme is going to show up in my left panel. When it shows up in my left panel, I can just go straight to the CSS, change, and see the result right away in the studio. So that is, I believe, something that's going to completely change the way that we do things. Because if it is that easy, I can go to all, I can go metal. Okay, I change to metal, I duplicate my metal theme, I'm going to call it soft metal, not be hard metal. I create my theme. My soft metal is somewhere there, right here. You guys can see it. I'll click on soft metal. It's the same as my metal because I didn't change yet. I'm going to save my page. I'm going to do it right. I save my page, so I have my soft metal recorded to my page. Now I go to my soft metal here, to my package, and to my soft metal CSS. I go to my CSS page, okay? I change the color. Now I'm going to try something more radical. I'm going to do this 10, 10, and 30. I have no idea what that's going to make. I save. I go back to my Wakanda 6 page. It says to me that something changed the page. I say yes. And my theme completely changed. So that's pretty nice. So I have many themes now that I can work and develop and send to other people, because the only thing that you need to do, my black theme now right here is very nice. I want to send to someone, they're going to send to you zipped file, and it's just a folder in your documents. I'll show you exactly what it is. My documents, I have a folder called Wakanda. I have the themes there, and all my themes are there. If I can just delete from here, and it's going to disappear completely from my themes. As you can see on the studio, my theme disappeared, and I have just right now the blue and the soft metal. So, and I can just zip this right now and send to Greg, and that should work just flawless, because we all now have just one structure, one file system that we are sharing among widgets and themes. So for themes, basically, I am sorry for the problem of the execution. As I mentioned, we are running here some experimental thing, but that's the idea. You guys need to get the idea behind it, because that's what's going to be important. Is this? I don't know if you noticed. I didn't touch a single other file. I didn't. You don't have to worry anymore to change any loader.js or anything like that. You just duplicate your theme, save, change on the left panel, go for the CSS, change the color, change your degradé, change the way that you want to render your image or your elements, save, and then you have your theme to use in many projects. And if I open another project, that's something that I didn't show, but if you open a new project, if I close this project now, and I go for a new solution, just webinar, I'm going to create a test webinar, and there we go. I have my index here. I'm going to drag a button. I'm going to drag, I'm going to do it again, or accordion. All right, I go to design. I see all my pages. I have my soft metal there. I click on my soft metal, and I have my whole page turned to the theme that I just created. I save my page, and I'm good to go. All right. So that is what we are believing that's going to completely change the game. And the same concept is for the widgets.
Okay, so we've got a couple questions on themes if you've got a second, Ricardo. Looks really awesome, by the way. Huge improvement. This is the first time you're showing it to me as well, and just want to say what a huge improvement. Really,
yeah, I'm sorry about the problem that we have on the runtime, but it's really that because I have the latest version. It's
yeah, no, it could have been.
Right now. But yep. the idea needs to be. We saw already 2 projects that are running. Running the new package system is it just brings the libraries that you need, and then with this capability that we have a folder that we can put all our themes, and you can duplicate easily like we duplicate. And when you change, you can see straight in your studio and adapt and change your CSS. We think that's the way to go.
Yeah, well, I can tell you from anyone's perspective who's used the CSS prior to this is a huge improvement. Got 2 questions, though, on that. Is the theme selected per page, or how is that set up?
Themes are selected per page, but you have a way that you can just define that every new page that you create, it's going to be in some theme that you predefined.
Okay.
So that's how we envision. I see that in the future, or we want to deliver that and see if everybody really is going to they're going to use, and we're going to create a better ecosystem, because what we would like to see is that people creating their themes and sharing those themes, so we can enrich for everybody this ecosystem. And if we do that, then the managing of the themes with a GitHub account and the internal manager of the theme, which is how do you apply themes to different pages, we will need to improve that. But that's a good problem to have. It's a problem that you are having. You're having flexibility, so you just wanted to create a menu somewhere that lets you attach your widgets, your themes easily to pages or to a group of pages or to the whole website.
Right. Yep. Okay, good. Have one second question from Marcus, and I think this is kind of in relation to the way that widget skins have worked, where you can build your widget lookup and then create that. He's asking, will there be a visual way of building themes, or will it be CSS strictly?
Well, for Wakanda 6 is CSS only. Okay.
Yeah.
But we would like for the future that change completely, and you have an environment to do that in a more elegant way, in a more productive way.
Okay.
That's definitely in our minds.
Yep. And then one last one, and then we'll get on to widgets. Will the client be able to change themes at runtime?
At runtime, that's a good question. In theory, you could. In theory, you could, but you need to do by coding by your code, right?
Okay, so that might be something that we'd cover in a training manual or training module going forward.
Yeah, what you need to do probably is to add into your package a second theme, okay? But because since this is so specific, it's not that we're talking about the person. He can have many themes and different pages. But what you were asking me, correct me if I'm wrong, like I have a page with one theme, and I click a button in that page, and that page turns to another theme.
Exactly, that's what they're asking.
Yeah. So technically, you have to build yourself the changing, but you can easily bring to the client both files, both theme files. Then it's a matter of you changing the whole page itself.
Okay. So for interest of time, let's move on to widgets, and then we'll get to questions afterwards.
Okay. Widgets, I'm going to just do something here, because otherwise I'm going to go a little. Well, I'm going to close this one, test webinar, okay? I'm going to close this one, and I'm going to go to what we had before. The test webinar was just to show you guys that once you create a theme, it's available to all the other pages, as we mentioned in the roadmap. So it's something that's beyond your solution. It's something that themes and widgets are modular components that you can add anytime you want. So I'm going to do something just for my sanity here. I'm going to bring back the default design, which is okay. So okay, for the widgets, I really need to see if I can clear my server here, because it's not clearing up. Do I have in a second? I'm sorry for the whole splashing. So themes, widgets. Let's go. In the same way, widgets are you create themes. You have this right panel, right? That we on the right side that you can relate very close to your widget and to your theme and choose them and duplicate. For themes, for widgets, we have a new custom widget. So you click here, and that's going to create a structure for you in the widgets section. So I can just create one right now. Just I create, and if I go to my widgets, my test one is there. Okay. As you can see, it's pretty similar to the themes. A theme is a folder that we put a package file and CSS and GS and stuff like that. For the themes, just CSS, and well, for the widgets, we pack with CSS icons. You can have your own icon or images, and we have now basically two files. That the first time that you create a widget, okay, that widget, we have the designer.js, which is how we render, how we're going to construct our widget in the studio only. Okay, So designer.js is a simple file that says that the widget is going to inherit it from a behavior that's called Studio. And we have some code here that we're going to add to show. But basically what I do here is related to the Studio, correct? The widget.js then is really where I'm going to write the logic and the functionality of my widget in runtime. Okay, so I have two very different separate files. Not I know that if you try to use widgets before and write your own widget, I bet you were confronted with a lot of let's say difficulties, because you had different files to update. Now we're trying to separate very well things. Designer.js, which is everything that you would put in your studio, is your representation, your widget representation in your studio, and widget.js is what you're going to see in runtime. Okay, and then you have, of course, the package .json. I just created to show you the structure, but I have already a widget here ready for us to use. So I'm going to show you the designer.js, and I'm going to try to go fast, so not fast, but very concise, so you guys can see pretty much what we're going to be doing. If I go to design.js, forget a little bit this whole section under here. I'm going to go slow. The first thing is, when you're in the studio, now we're talking about how I define my widget in the studio, right? So when you're in the studio, one of the first things that you want to do is to have attributes in this section here. So I click on widget. If I drag a button here, right? When I click on the button, right, I have some, for example, here, source, button title, URL, tab index. So I want to be able to easily add attributes to my widget. So someone that gets my widget in the future, then you can envision even that we're going to have a marketplace where you can sell your widgets, or a totally different ecosystem that you are going to get to build your widget and customize in a way that your user, your client, you just come here and change the search, change the button, change the URL, change the index. So how my widget here that I'm building deals with that. Basically, I do widget add attribute. I give the name of the attribute, the default value, and that's all I need to do to that attribute to be available for me in the studio. And the same way I did for the height. So I have in this widget a width and a height. Okay. Also in the studio, when we have a widget, you need as well events, and you can on click, on double click, on mouse down. So you may want to define events, standard events, or you may even customize your own event. And how do we do that now? So it's add event. So you do a name and a description, and this event should be created on the right panel for you. So for the widget that I'm creating right now, I should have here, I would not have none of those events, and I'm going to have this one, tab created. Okay. I can set a description, and we have some actions to do when we resize, when we drop a data source, or the widget is displayed. Okay. As you can see, it's pretty straightforward. If I need to add a CSS selector or the value, I just put the key and the value that I want. So there is not. We're gonna have a whole manual and information for you guys how to, what is the API available for you. But basically what you do is that you define attributes, you define events, and then what happens when you resize, when you drop, when you display, and when you move, for example. Okay? Basically, that's the way that I define my widget. Studio side. So we finished Designer. Okay? So now, if I come to my project, Wakanda 6 there. Okay, I save. Okay. I come here under. I have already my box here. The same box here is here. I put a little icon. If you guys go to my icon here, I have a little widget icon done. So it's available for me. I can just drag the widget and put on the project. Okay. Don't worry about how it looks right now because I didn't show you guys the creation of the widget. Let's just see the right panel here. As you can see, I have the width set, the height, and in my events, I have the tab created event that I can click and code if I want. Okay, so that's how you're going to deal. No, don't save. I don't need to save that. Okay, that's how. Oh, sorry, I closed the page. I'm sorry. Let me open again. So and I didn't save, so that my widget is gone. No problem. Now it's a widget. I can just drag again, and my widget is there. So that's how my widget's going to work. And if you notice, I did something on the resize that if I try to resize my width and height change automatically. If you look here, you're going to see that when I resize, I show exactly what is the width and the height of my box here. All that is done by the widget on resize. When I resize, I catch an event, and I just set up my studio properties exactly with the height and the width that was changed, and then I refresh the panel. So something very intuitive, something very direct, straight. So you have the capability, again, changing the file designer.js to add and to customize your widget for the studio only. So the things that you do in designer.js will not be sent to runtime. Okay? In runtime, you don't need this code because it's probably a setup that you were doing here for the person that's going to use the widget. I'm not sure if that was very clear. Was that clear, Greg?
Yeah, I think so.
Hello?
Yeah, I think you're fine.
Oh, all right. Great. All right. So then let's talk about the widget itself. This widget that I want to create, that I try to create here, it's a widget that I give the name of a name on an input field. I add a tab, and in this panel here, we should have a tab view. A tab view that's going to be incremented. It's going to create if I write here some title and I add tab. So I want that this tab view here create dynamically some tabs. Okay? So let's go and dig the code now. Let's talk about the code that we are going to do for the widget itself. Nothing related to, they're very separate. Even the names are different. So when I say names, you never reference objects from one to the other. They are very completely different. So here, the widget.js is everything that I need to do to run this code. If I open, you're going to see that I am creating my widget. I call it box. So very creative. So not too creative, but so and after I start to use my box. And the way that we imagine is now widgets, you attach behavior to widgets. Okay? And we decide that the layout, it would be a behavior as well. And we have three major layouts. Okay? We have the composed layout, which is the one that you define areas. For example, you're going to create a widget, and you want that your widget, it needs to have a header, content, and a footer. So you can define the parts that are going to be composing your widget. As you can see, the one that I'm using right now is doing exactly like that. I defined my box as a composed layout. Then after, I tell what is this composed layout. I have an input section, I have a button section, and I have a tab section, which I am already using other widgets that are ready for me. I have an input, a button, and a tab view. So I associate that part with that key. So that's why I have, if I come back here, you're going to see that I have my input here, my button here, and my tab here. So that's the mind frame. So I'm going to set my widget. I need to define what is the layout. The other two layouts that we have, I'm going to write here. We have the container, the layout, well, is behavior.layout.container. And we have behavior.layout.multi-container. Okay. With these two here and the composed, we can at this moment think of any configuration, and you can do it with them. Container is basically a container that you can drop things inside, and multi-container is going to be a list. Okay. Typically, my tab view, it is multi-container, right? With well, it is a composed, which on the top I have a menu, and on the content I have a multi-container layout. Okay, so you can play around those concepts. Talking about that, I'm going to just show you guys how compact our new structure is. I'm going to actually show you our tab view. The tab view code, it's very compact at this moment because we're using a lot of inheritance and events inheritance as well. So if I open here my tab view, just for you guys to be curious, I was not even planning to show that, but may be interesting. That's my tab view widget right now. As you're going to see, it's very compact. That's it. With that code, I can do a tab view because it has a whole system of heritage that is going to heritage from the tab view menu bar. It's going and then you're going to have some methods. You can insert a page, remove a page, get the current page index. Okay, and now I have the container. So basically, I have the container as I mentioned, you guys, and you have the menu. Okay. Just a quick example. I don't know if it's even worth seeing, but that's how compact our code is becoming.
Yeah, it looks good, Ricardo. We're going over time here, so maybe wrap up, and we'll take a few quick questions. Anyone who's got questions, please enter them in, and I'll let you wrap up there for a minute.
I'll try to speed up.
Yep.
So then, at the same way, you can add classes, global classes. So which means that's nice because my box is a kind of container. I associate this container class to it, and then when I change my theme, it will be changed automatically my widget, which is pretty cool. So I don't need to recreate my CSS for every single theme that is available. Every theme is already having the container or the content or some classes that are used for all our widgets, and I hook myself in. So my widget is going to be flexible. It's going to just, as soon as I change from a theme to another theme, my widget is going to change as well. So in here, in the init, so Okay, my widget is basically created here, and the layout, and the behaviors that I want to attach. And then after, I have to init my widget. Then I'm going to get all the parts, button, input, and tab. I'm going to say that my input tab I'm going to put first. My button is add tab. I'm going to subscribe to the click event. So the button is going to subscribe to the click event, and then it's going to do it's going to create a button inside my widget. And then I just set the last page as current page. Okay. Basically, that's what I need to make the code that we saw it here. Now I changed that's nice because I changed the code, and the studio is saying to me, do you want to update? And I didn't save before. I'm going to show that again. A box. I need to put my box here and finally save, so he's permanently in my page. So now it's saved, which means that if I go to my widget and I go to the widget.js, and I don't want that the name is first, but it is tab. Here I save. I go back to my Wakanda 6 page. It's going to say, whoa, something changed. Do you want to reload? Yes. And then it reloads to tab. So I can use the studio to completely code my widget. Okay? So I can go to, for example, the CSS of my widget, box widget. I go to the CSS. I decide that my button needs to be a little lower, 250, just an example. So I save. I return to my Wakanda 6 page. It say, oh, your widget, someone changed something. Let's refresh the page. Then you refresh. Then your button even disappeared because I put it too low in the page. So I can go back, oh, I did a mistake. So okay, let's go back to my widget. That's how easy it is for you to adapt. So now, let's just move it 10. It's going to be very close to the top. I save. I go back to my page. All right, the page changed, yes. And then my button is there on the top, competing with my thing. So in that way, we have a very dynamic way to create widgets, and use those widgets everywhere. Was that a good wrap up?
Yes, that's excellent. So just in summary, what I've seen, really appreciate you presenting. So you've made radical improvements to the loader, made the efficiency of a Wakanda application loading many times more efficient, which is going to be huge for mobile, huge for anything really. So that's awesome. Themes, you've broken the styling away from the actual functionality of the page. I love that. Definitely going to be helpful. And then you're providing us a great way to build widgets. I know that your plans are to build our widgets on top of this infrastructure, and I think this goes back to our last quarterly update where we really pressed on the fact that what we're doing is investing in the infrastructure right now so that we can build on top of a solid foundation, and I really see a lot of that work coming to fruition here. I think it's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but we have to understand that at this point of the product, that's a key thing for me. I have to understand at this point of the product, we have a community that's very engaged and is there, and anybody that goes to the forum is gonna see it. So we have to harness the power of this community. There is no product in the market that's related to the internet. That's one of the bases of the internet, collaboration. And our products, the key element in terms of collaboration are widgets and themes. That's what makes our product fantastic. So you can just throw a widget, drop a data source, change a theme, and then everything is going to be running like magic that does Wakanda. I think it was the step it is really missing to make us go to a completely different level.
Yeah.
And I didn't show, but here I'm going to just show quickly since it's just 5 lines of code. But I have a widget here, for example, that in the package, I hope it's this one. No, wait a second. Let me just see if I can find here. Because it's, I don't remember which one I created. In just a second. Voila. Here you go. I created a widget and I downloaded a page from the internet. Okay, so it's a page that uses a library called Spectrum that does a data picker. Okay, and in my widget.js, I just, I create my widget called test2. I was just testing, and I just inserted this, the way that the website told me to insert in my widget. I saved. So when I go to my page index now, my index page, if I get here my test2, and I drop down here, for example, I have a little widget that I can click, and I have a color pick. That's quite cool as well. So it's very easy.
Nice.
10 lines of code. I had something that's completely useful, and I can just drop it and put it everywhere. So it's going to harness a completely different level of sharing, of collaboration, because people and we are all raised in this environment. The internet is so mature in this way right now. People share, and they love to do that. And I didn't even show, but because it was too quick. Sorry. One last thing, I promise. For example, if I do a theme, right? I have my package.json. If I come here, let's get the soft metal, which is the one that I'm using right now. The soft metal, when we created, it created a package and the CSS. If I go here in the design and I see my soft metal, okay? I have two little things here that is who created and is the copyright. So I can just go to my package.json. I can just here and alter. I put that is Greg. Greg is doing his work, and I'm gonna license because I'm a nice guy. MIT. All right, I save, and then if I go back to something change, I reload. Oops, did I save the page? I hope so. I was just messing. I always do that. That's something that for you guys to notice. I didn't save the page. I was just messing with the theme. But now soft metal. If I click, I have Greg and license MIT, which is nice as well. We're going to have the same thing. We're going to try to do the same thing for Widgets as well. So people from the community are going to start to be there for you and when you open the studio, which is quite nice, quite delightful. And now I'm saving my page, so I'm not going to lose that. That change. I don't know if it made sense, but our default themes are signed at Wakanda and our license. But yours, why not put yours? Or say something fun here. So there's that spirit that we are trying to bring to the product right now. With you not worrying to add any file anywhere, you just edit, save, and run, and you're done.
Very good. I'm going to cut your screen off.
Right.
There we go. Just make sure I've got the right screen here. Okay. So I think we should be seeing my screen now. So we've got a couple minutes here for questions, not a long time because we did go over time. So let's go from the top. We'll go through some product ones first. When will WebSockets be available? From Greg.
WebSockets are already available in some ways. We already have an API that we are planning to release in Wakanda 6.
Okay, and they can look for more information.
Yeah,
where?
Actually, it is present in the Wakanda 5. Our admin is already using it. So, but we decided that it was not yet final ready for production. But right now I'm using it. It's going pretty well.
Is that a line item in the roadmap yet, or no?
For WebSockets?
Yes.
I hope so, but for Wakanda,
we'll double check on that, and we'll see if we can get that into the roadmap, because that's the way we really want to communicate the features is through the roadmap.
I'm just opening here, but I think it is.
Yeah, no, we can check. We'll double check on that. So let's go to the next one here. So we've got
this functionality you showed today, Ricardo, is that going to be in a dev build? Is it in there already?
Well, yeah, it is already there. It is already there, and you can start to try. As I mentioned, it's very unstable at this moment. We didn't even finish the development cycle because just a reminder for you guys. This product, the Wakanda 6, possible release date, which is we want to keep, is mid-October. Okay.
Middle of October. Okay.
Yeah, mid-October. So I'm showing you guys something in not even August yet.
Yes.
Okay? So we still have 2 months and a half to go. So it is still very, very early in the game for you guys to be playing with that and expecting that everything's going to work flawless. But yeah, you can, if you are really interested in that, make a little call in the forum, and I'll help you through it. I will show you, because at this moment we are, I believe that from next Monday, the package system is going to be already in the product for sure. You know, like you don't need to do anything else. It's just going to be there, because right now it works, but you still need to twiddle some files to make it work.
Yeah.
So I would like to release that. I can make a commitment here. That Monday, next Monday, the package system is going to be there, and you guys are going to start to test that. The widgets and the themes, they're already there. That you can start to use, but they're very unstable.
So I think,
and they need the package system.
Yeah, when we changed the download page, there was one specific thing that we did, was we wanted people to know that the dev branch is can potentially be very rough around the edges. That's the whole point of that specific version. So we took some emphasis off of the download, but you know, it's there to experiment. But as far as documentation, as far as product quality, for obvious reasons, it won't be the same as our production branch. So that's good to know. So a lot of it's there, and documentation sort of happens when it happens, certainly before we release to production. But sometimes you do see
the biggest point right now, you touch a very good point, which is documentation. Our problem is documentation. It comes along, and so if someone downloads right now and don't know exactly what to put in the API for the widgets, it doesn't make much sense. But yeah, for sure, some developers are advanced enough to just look the code and figure out.
Exactly, and that's the type of people. If you're getting into the dev branch, that's what you need to be prepared for. So I think people are comfortable with that. So then I have a question here from Marcus, wondering, last time you did post your code sample up to GitHub. Are you planning on doing that with the project that you've shown here today?
Not really. I was not planning to.
Okay, that's fair.
Because it's so basic. This is, listen, as you all saw it, it's what we are trying to do is to demystify. Because the problem right now is people thinking that to create a widget and to make a theme is like such a huge, and it is a little bit of too much work. And it's very tricky, but we are trying to make things that are very, very easy in a way that you build. Yeah, I can put some of the code available, or as well, if you guys want, I can deliver in the forum just this example widget, so you can actually have an idea of how that is going to work. If that is good for you, yes, and I can put in the forum.
Okay, so the next question. It sounds like an enterprise feature to me, but have we announced anything as far as a release date for connecting to Microsoft SQL Server?
No, not yet. So we are going to have connect. Well, there's not. We are starting with the connectors. Okay, so the connectors with other databases and servers are getting ready. We have the first connector is, of course, for 4D. Because it's our main database, is our mother database. But we already released to the community the MySQL connector, and I know that ODBC is coming, and so I know that we are trying to decide what's going to be the next.
Okay.
If you have a very strong impression, don't hesitate to send me some notes to the forum.
Okay.
And we'll make it.
So then we've got you answered target date for Wakanda 6 is mid-October, I think you said.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on release cycle? Have we changed that at all? What's a general guideline for how often we release?
No. We are keeping the release cycle. That was a discussion that we did some months ago in the forum. The thing is, when I was here, when I came here in the beginning of the year, I felt very strong that we should put the cycle monthly, or as we release a feature. But then we start to realize that our product is such a large scope. We have server and client, and when we release, and we are in such a phase of the product right now that we are trying to push the product to a lot of chains, right? So do releases in a monthly cycle or in a feature cycle, it's kind of hard for the community, because they need, if they have something in production, it's quite hard. So we are going to keep this three months and a half. So it gives a little bit of time for people to adapt, to check, to keep following our chains at a regular pace. And I hope that as soon as we start to have a product with more time in the road, we can maybe switch to a different type of release, which will be a feature release. For me, will be the best one.
Mm-hmm. Okay, a couple, and we're going to do these real short. If anyone wants to cut out, they can, but we've got comment that there's no localization support in the roadmap. Anything on the horizon there?
No, actually, I saw someone from the forum touch that subject, and we are thinking about that. It's going to be in 2014, which means from Wakanda 7 to Wakanda 9.
Yep.
We have to have, because people are asking that, and it's nice because it's the community leading us in so many ways. In the beginning of this product, it was almost like go, not listening too much to the community. We're trying to do a bigger effort right now, and because the community is becoming valuable, and then you look and say, they want that, we need to implement, and we need to find a solution and go quick in that direction. And as much pressure, don't hesitate to send you, we need internationalization because I have this project. The concrete example is very nice. Let us know. It's always put more weight if we know that you are working a project and you are trying to release this, or you talk about a little bit about your project. For us, it's very interesting to have that information, and I'm sure that will give me even more pressure to go and help you and build and fix the product.
Yep. Okay. So that's all we're going to do for questions, Ricardo. I appreciate you helping me out with this. I wanted to mention, just to re-mention, we had a few questions on licensing, and you're welcome to give me a call or email me directly with any questions with respect to that. And again, the biggest thing that we're looking to do there, we wanted to lower the barrier of entry to develop, and we also wanted to have a sustainable business because we want to keep this product moving, just like Ricardo's showing. I think we've got a lot of great things happening. It's going to be an exciting year. And yeah, keep in the forums. Contact us with any questions you have. If you've got a big project that you think would lend itself to